Imagine this. You are invisible. You walk through a crowded city, a ghost amidst the laughter and connecting glances. You see men who are no more handsome, no wealthier, no taller than you. Yet they exist in a different reality, one where they are seen, heard, desired. A silent scream builds in your chest. What do they have that I don't? You've done everything right. You've been nice. You've built a decent life. You've consumed the advice telling you to just be yourself. Yet, the result is a profound, echoing silence. This is the modern male paradox. More connected than any generation in history, yet drowning in a quiet, desperate loneliness. Conventional wisdom has failed you. The pursuit of external validation, a better job, a sharper wardrobe, feels like building a beautiful palace no one ever visits. The hunger isn't for a number, it's for a feeling of being chosen, of mattering in the gaze of another. But what if the entire premise is a lie? What if the secret isn't about getting women at all, but about triggering a fundamental shift in the very energy you project into the world? This isn't about learning a script. This is about uncovering a hidden psychological truth so profound, it rewires your reality. The first layer of the trap is not outside of you. It is a silent internal program running in the dark, and we must expose it before you can ever be free. This hidden problem isn't a failure of action, but a crisis of being. You are trapped in what Jean-Paul Sartre called bad faith, acting a role you believe the world demands, suffocating your authentic self to earn a love that feels conditional. You perform the nice guy, the provider, the agreeable man, and wonder why the connections feel hollow. This performance is a cage of your own making, built from a primal fear that your raw, unedited self is unworthy of desire. Carl Jung would call this the shadow, the parts of you you've been taught to hide, your ambition, your darkness, your wildness. Society, a modern Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, rewards conformity and pacifies with the promise of validation through consumption. But this pacification comes at a cost, your vital masculine essence. You have been psychologically disarmed, taught that your core nature is problematic, so you hide, you negotiate for affection, you seek permission, and in doing so, you become invisible. The very thirst for external approval is the poison that ensures the drought continues. This internal war creates a silent desperation that others sense on a subconscious level, a frequency of neediness that repels the genuine connection you crave. But this is merely the sickness. The true, unseen consequence of living this lie is far more insidious, and it has already reshaped your entire reality. If this unsettling truth about the internal cages we build for ourselves is resonating, then you need to subscribe. The journey to break free is just beginning, and in the next section, we will expose the silent, devastating consequences of living this lie. The unseen consequence of this internal war is a self-perpetuating hell. Your nervous system, conditioned by rejection and performance, now operates on a deficit. This isn't just in your head, it's in your body. You emit a subtle frequency of neediness and apology, a bioelectric signature of lack that others subconsciously detect and recoil from. This is the cruel hidden toll. You have become a self-fulfilling prophecy of isolation. Your attempts to manage how you are perceived only amplify the very insecurity you seek to conceal. You are caught in what psychologists call a double bind. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. This constant self-monitoring floods your system with cortisol and anxiety, shutting down the very charisma and presence that attraction is built upon. You are no longer a person. You are a walking, talking strategy, a mirror reflecting only what you think others want to see. And people, especially women attuned to authenticity, are repelled by a reflection. They crave the substance behind the glass. This is the silent architecture of your loneliness. A prison built not with bars of steel, but with the phantom pain of past failures and the terrifying risk of being truly seen. But if the strategy is the problem, then what is the solution? It requires not a new tactic, but a rebellion against the very foundation of your conditioned self. The rebellion begins not with a pickup line, but with a funeral. You must bury the man who seeks permission. This is the radical, counterintuitive shift. Stop trying to get women and start becoming a man who is impossible to ignore. This is about sovereignty, not strategy. Friedrich Nietzsche called this the journey to become the Bermensch, not a superior man to others, but a man who has overcome his own conditioned, plebeian desires for external validation. It is a reclaiming of your primal core. How? You must willingly embrace rejection. Act not to gain a reward, but because your internal compass demands it. Speak your truth when it would be easier to stay silent. Pursue a mission so compelling that it becomes the central pole of your identity, making the approval of others a trivial sideshow. This is the paradox. By ceasing to need them, you become genuinely magnetic. You are no longer a hungry ghost, but a source of energy. You stop negotiating for your value and start embodying it. This is how you break the cycle. You trade the safety of the performance for the terrifying power of authenticity. But this rebellion leads to a final, ultimate truth, one that redefines the very nature of connection itself. This rebellion against a life of performance requires a fundamental rewiring of your mind. If you're ready to learn the practical steps to embody this sovereign energy, subscribe now. The final, most powerful realization, the one that makes everything click into place, is next. The ultimate truth is this: the infinite you seek was never about a quantity of women. It was always about accessing the infinite potential within yourself. The longing for external validation was a misdiagnosed thirst for your own wholeness. When you become the man who is rooted in his purpose, unafraid of his shadow, and sovereign in his value, you shatter the very economy of scarcity you are trapped in. You are no longer a beggar at the feast of life. You become a host. Attraction is not something you do, it is something you are. A natural emission of a man who is fully alive and congruent. This is the final poetic reversal. The infinite women were a phantom, a symbol for a freedom you had to claim for yourself first. The connection you craved could only manifest once you connected with a powerful, authentic self you had abandoned. The world and everyone in it simply mirrors the relationship you have with you. So stop seeking, start being, and watch as the entire universe, in its own mysterious way, begins to seek you. If this final paradigm shift has redefined what connection and confidence mean to you, then ensure you don't miss what comes next. Subscribe, like this video if it resonated, and in the comments, tell us one thing you will stop seeking permission for starting today.